performance is my passion, and today I'm reviewing the 2013 BMW M6 Convertible, as you could all see. It's a very cool car, and today I'll show you around all the interesting features of the vehicle. I'll show you the exhaust sound as well, and I have my hand on the keys for the whole day, so hey, that's pretty cool. Let's start off with the front styling on this car. It's very bold. BMWs have always looked really good in my opinion, but this one is probably one of the best ones. You get this M6 badge, so it shows off your BMW M Pride. You get a big BMW badge. You get your traditional BMW style grills as well. Your headlights look really good. There are LEDs and halogens as well. And if you come in really close, it does actually say BMW Adaptive LED on there. So hey, it's showing off their BMW tech. Very cool. You got a big grille and front splitter as well. It doesn't really scrape on anything since this isn't that low of a vehicle. It's cool. You have access to the intercooler. You could see it from here, and my hand doesn't really fit in, but it's quite deep in there until you actually reach anything. So from the front, it looks really good, but I think it looks even better from the side on the vehicle. You get your big BMW M brakes. These are some of the biggest brakes in the business. It's a big car, 4,500 pounds, so you need to stop it really quickly. Carbon ceramic brakes, and it stops faster than a Nissan GTR and a Bentley Continental, as we all saw in Top Gear. Really cool brakes. The wheels look really nice, especially in this black color, and they are a little bit dirty right now, as you can see, but it looks really good. You know, black with black wheels just really looks nice. So on performance cars, it's really vital to cool all the brakes and interior mechanisms of the vehicle, and this one's no exception. The wheels are designed to channel air there, and they cool the brakes off really quickly. You also get these drilled holes in there as well to cool your brakes off more quickly. If you take a close look here, it does say M, so that's showing off the BMW Performance brand. And on the brake pads, it also says M instead of saying something like Brembo or something tacky like that. No, they said M. It's a BMW in-house design. The tires are also very thin on these vehicles. They have a thin profile, and they have really big wheel rims. This one is no exception. It's probably one of the best tires in the business. It's a Michelin Pilot Super Sport. It's only one tire down from the best one, and that's a Super Sport Cup 2. Really grippy tires, really hard to spin them, but this car has a lot of power, so you will be spinning them all the time. And if you look closely, you do actually have quite a lot of tread wear on these things, since, you know, performance tires don't really last that long, and this one's no exception. It's really sticky, so dirt sticks onto it pretty quickly. Really nice tires and wheels. Let's take a look at some of the other features of the side of the vehicle. So it also says M6 on the side of the vehicle. You get this little turning indicator. Instead of putting them on the mirrors and making an ugly hash out of it, they just put it on the side and it looks cooler. You get all these indentations on the body, and it just gives it a nice profile. You get big door handles, and it's one entire unit instead of two pieces, and if you pull it open, it's actually quite a long door, and it opens quite a bit too. So if my whole arm span fits within the door opening. Pretty cool. So let's say you're kind of lazy, and when you close your door, you don't close it properly. You sort of let it loose. Okay, let me do it unproperly, like this. Okay. There's an electric motor just to keep it tight. It locks itself. Many owners of these vehicles will not notice that, but hey, it's a cool feature that if you know, you know. If you look here, this is the convertible. You know, as I said before, it's convertible, not the coupe. Therefore, you don't get a carbon fiber roof up top to lower your center of gravity. You just get a folding soft top, which isn't bad either. You do get quite a bit more engine sound in the vehicle, which is nice. And you get this nice little wind deflector that goes up and down to deflect wind noise. You get these tiny side windows as well, big front windows. Looks really good from there. Moving a little farther back, it does sort of look like the deck of a ship. with this little roof mechanism piece here. Your trunk opening is a little bit smaller on the convertibles compared to the coupes, but you don't really give up much. I mean, in terms of styling, the tail lights are still pretty similar to the coupe and the Grand Coupe, which is the four-door version of this. I mean, they even have this 3D indentation on them, since they have to be visible from certain angles in the US and Europe, so they just made that little indentation and it's visible. You get your turning signals up here and some reflectors down here as well. You get your reversing lights here, some more braking lights, and these are all really tiny, beautiful LEDs in there, and they look really beautiful when they're on. Looking at the exhaust, you get not 2, not 3 like the Ferrari 458 that I've tested before, but you get 4 exhaust pipes, and they are quite hot right now, and I can't touch them, but my fist could probably fist bump this pretty well, since they're that big. You get 4 of them. It sounds really good from the back. Let's say you wanted to put things in your trunk. You know, there's no latch here on top of your young driver license plate. All you really get, I mean, you could go to your key or you could go on the interior. What do? Well, it's kind of a hidden cool feature of this vehicle. You don't mess with the M6 badge, but you go to the BMW badge, you push it in from here, and you pull this. So this being a BMW of the 21st century, I mean, it has to have a reversing camera. It just has to. I mean, I looked at the sensors. There's 4 of them. One here, one there, and one there. And there's sort of nothing under here. You just get your young driver license plate. I was looking around trying to find the trunk release as well, and I just happened to press this. Now, if you come in really close, your camera's actually hidden underneath this, and what happens is, when you're trying to reverse, this camera actually comes out underneath the BMW badge, and it just gives it a nicer rear profile of the vehicle, gives it cleaner, smoother, elegant lines, and it just looks pretty nice from this angle. Let's take a look at the engine as well while we're at the exterior. So let's say you're at Cars and Coffee or an auto show and you want to show off your cool V8 engine of your ultimate driving machine, referring to BMW. What do? Well, you pull a little latch on the inside and you just pull another latch here and it goes up. Clever engineering, big hood made out of aluminum, kind of heavy, but it is held up by these shocks. This is a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 engine. Makes 560 horsepower, 2 horsepower less than the Ferrari 458 that we tested before. But the difference on this one is that they did actually underrate the engine. It makes more power than advertised. Do you believe that, guys? Wow, that's just impressive. But, I mean, if you look here, it's just stuffed. You don't get any space. Like some of the smaller cars I've tested before, it's filled. Everything's stuffed to the brim, so you can't really put your hands here as well, since you just use your BMW mechanic for this one. You get turbos, 2 of them, in fact, and they are hidden underneath these. These just house the turbos inside them so they don't get damaged at all. It looks really nice. You get 2 intakes as well on this engine. It's really big, you know. Everything comes in sets of two turbos, and it's kind of symmetrical compared to some other engines I've looked at. It's big, symmetrical, kind of heavy too, since it's got 2 big turbos on it, but it makes really good horsepower for its size. 4.4 liters. You usually don't get much power for that level, but they did manage to pull 560 horsepower from this. So on a performance car like this, you know, the engine, as I said, has to be really big to get all sorts of cooling to it. You know, there can't be any room for error. Everything has to be tightly put on. You can't have anything be loose and fall apart all the time, since it has to cope with a lot more RPM and a lot more stress when you're revving the engine. It's filled so much that your battery isn't even available to you. You just get the charging points here and here, and since it's a performance car and most of the time it's going to be sitting in a garage like it is right now, a beautiful one, you just connect your battery charger to this one, and I mean, it works. It's a great engine. I'm impressed with it. It's very well built, everything's very sturdy, it looks really nice, it's just a great showpiece. And if this was my car, I'd consistently keep the hood up so I could take a nice look at it. Let's take a look at the interior, since that's not a bad place to be either. Let's open the door and take a look at some of the interior features. So, starting off, you get this big side sill of the vehicle, and it says M6, cool touch there. And it's not too hard to get into either at 5'3". You got a big leather steering wheel, BMW M stitching on it, M badge. Quite a lot of buttons on the steering wheel for your volume, your mode, your voice recognition system. You get your paddle shifters on this one. So in most countries, this car was just equipped with the 7-speed Getrag dual clutch transmission. The US did have a manual available, but it's just, the manual is kind of old and it's just nicer with this transmission in it. Pretty cool. You get carbon fiber touches all over the place. It's just really nice. I mean, it's really high quality carbon fiber. It won't break anytime soon. Even though this car is 4,500 pounds, it looks nice on the interior. And as you can see, you get this Bang & Olufsen speaker. It looks very nice. It's a big piece of aluminum basically, and it's just been drilled into it. It feels really sharp, really premium. If we take a look here, you get quite a lot of buttons on your seat. So this is really adjustable. You could adjust it with this button, with that one, bring it forward, back, up, down. You got quite a lot of kit on the seat just for a seat. And I mean, you get lumbar support as well. So if, let's say you got long legs and you want support all the way to the bottom of your knees. I'm shorter, so I don't need that one. But if I did, what I would do is push that forward and sort of lifts my legs up for me, which is helpful. Thanks, BMW. You get a bunch of presets on this as well. So if 2 or 3 people drive this car all the time, you just press these buttons and it takes you to the preset for the mirrors, the seats, and it's just really nice. You have quite a lot of movement on them. If you take a look at the center console, you get a big screen. It's not small, it's one of the biggest ones in the business. Something like 12 to 13 inches big. That's huge. Has quite a lot of features on it, but it's not the nicest part of the vehicle. You get really premium buttons on here, and I mean, yeah, see, I just turned the whole thing on. And your Bang & Olufsen speaker actually rises. It's really premium. See? Turns off, lowers, goes up. I mean, that's just a premium quality touch that many people might not even notice, but it's just nice to know that it's there. They care that much about the vehicle. You get a little storage pocket, and you also get cup holders inside that as well. But if you don't want to look at them, you don't have to. You just pull that back up. Here's your M dual clutch transmission, and you could put, you just pull it. It's sort of like a video game joystick in the way that it goes back, and if you don't know how it works, you just don't know, and it's kind of hard to figure out, but once you understand it, it's pretty easy to use on a day-to-day basis. The deal with the transmission, actually, while we're on that, is that it's probably one of the best transmissions in the business. The Getrag 7-speed, really well built, and it's also got the software behind it as well. BMW M made the software for it, and when you're going fast, it shifts really well, and I would honestly say that it's really competitive with the Porsche 911, and I mean, many people say Porsche's PDK is probably the best in the business, but this is as good at high speed. The downfall of the transmission, slow speeds. This is for dual clutch. I mean, Porsche's really been using dual clutches for a long time, and they know all the bad aspects of it, so they know how it works at slow speeds. It's very good, but with this, whether you put it in manual mode or just automatic mode, it's kind of jolty on the shift. It's a little bit, not that bad, but for luxury car, it's a little bit jolty, so not that bad, not that good. But you do get this, so instead of having a touch screen and a screen that you're going to get dirty all the time, they gave you this little joystick to mess around with, and it's pretty self-explanatory. There's no big learning curve, and if you go into the GPS settings, you could actually trace the letters that you want to write. Instead of typing them, you could do that. So M and then O, things like that. You could just do that. It's pretty nice. And everything is at hand's reach. It's kind of like a computer mouse in that design. You just go through the settings with this, with that, and just turn that off. And you get quite a bit of kit with that. This is your roof mechanism. So if I were to hold this right now, it would go up and down. It can go up and down at speed as well, which is nice, unlike the Ferrari that I've tested before, that you had to be stopped. But this one goes up and down even when you're moving. You get your suspension button here. So this is your M Dynamics page. So you could, this is for your suspension settings. I mean your shift settings. So if you want really hardcore fast shifts or just comfortable, smoother ones, and you just go up and down. You have something like 130 different combinations with these for your different settings with the steering setting, you know, comfort, sport, or track. Your suspension settings, same deal there. This is your cruise control button, and this is your cameras. It gives you access to your cameras. So if you wanted to look around the car, there's multiple, not just a rear view one, but multiple. So you can look around you, see what's going on, and your parking sensor as well. It has an electronic parking brake, so you just pull it up or down to lock it. You get a little, this is for auxiliary plug-in or cigarette lighter if you're into that. And it just hides it and stows away really nicely. You also get this center console, and it's very well built. And I mean, it's just really premium, and you could lock it with the key as well, or just push the buttons to open them. Really premium on that side. If you look here, you get your stocks, and there's quite a lot of buttons. You could go through settings and modes up front with these, and your steering wheel buttons. These are your windshield washers. Not gonna mess with that because it's not mine. The engine start button is here, and this is auto stop start. So if you stop at a red light, it shuts the engine off to save fuel. In a car like this, but still nice to know that you have it. Your automatic lights, and they do dim and do all sorts of things. You dim the dashboard lights with this, but since the car's not on right now, it won't do that. You get lane keeping assist and all the other safety goodies with these buttons as well. Pretty nice in the front. Let's take a look at the back while we're at it. So let's say that I wanted to sit in the back of the vehicle. What would I have to do in a two-door car like this? Well, first things first, you could use this to bring the seat backwards and forwards. And if that's not enough for you, you just pull a latch, and the whole mechanism slowly goes forward, and you slowly go back here and pull the seat back. There's not that much leg room here, and I mean for 5'3", I don't have too much leg room. It is tight, but it's a performance car. If you want more room and comfort, go for the coupe or the Grand Coupe, which is the 4-door version of this. There's not much to mess around with here, except, you know, you get your, I don't know how to release it, guys. Let me figure this one out. Sitting here, there's not much in the middle, you know, it's just a clean design, and it cocoons you in nice leather. You get your Bang & Olufsen speakers back here as well, pretty top-notch stuff. Everything is covered in leather back here, and really nice stitching all over. It's really soft too, it feels nice. You get carbon fiber inserts in the back. I mean, I said so, 4,500 pounds. Heavy car, but hey, nice to know that they're trying to save some weight in the back as well. Let's score the vehicle now. Since it's a good car, I'm impressed with the interior and exterior. Let's give it a good score. I'll be using the same scoring system today as the Ferrari 458 that I did in last week's video, and that consists of performance, value, equipment, and also comfort. So this being a BMW M performance car, let's start off with performance. It's really fast, 4.2 seconds from 0 to 60. Not as fast as it could be though, since the Coupe and the Grand Coupe are a little bit faster. They've got a better top speed than this one as well. This has a top speed of 155, but if you take the limiter off of it, it goes all the way up to 189. Pretty decent. I'll give it, since I gave the Ferrari 10 out of 10, I'll give it 8. It's pretty good. I'm impressed with it. 8 out of 10 in that category. Let's move on to comfort. Since this is a luxury car, you get quite a bit of stuff. I mean, these are really comfortable. Your wind deflectors, everything's premium. Nothing's cheap. Even this latch is really nice. And if you pull it, your seat goes down like that. It's really quality stuff. I mean, you're not going to break anything. Feels really nice. I'll give it 10 out of 10 in that category. You also get to value. This one's kind of a tough one since this is more than 100 grand at what it's sitting at. But you get quite a bit of performance for your money. I mean, you can get faster cars than this, but they're not as luxurious as this. And you could get more luxurious cars for the money, but they're not as fast as this. So, value's pretty decent. I'll give it 8 out of 10 in that category. We move on to, we've done performance, value, comfort, equipment. There's quite a bit of stuff. I mean, the Bang & Olufsen system, tested it out, pretty good. You get a lot of goodies up front with, you know, the dual clutch, the screen, the carbon fiber. It's well equipped. 10 out of 10. So 10 plus 10, 20 plus 16, which is 8 plus 8, so 36. To put that into perspective, the Ferrari 458 got 34 out of 40. Better score, best car in the performance factor. So if you are looking for a very nice car in the performance factor, tested and proven by yours truly, then check this vehicle out. 2013 BMW M6 Convertible. As always, make sure to like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends. Comment any concerns you have with the video so I can make better content. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And, you know, there's a bunch of good videos coming. I mean, Ferrari 458 is in my list already. Go and watch that as well. BMW M6. Quite a bit of cheap cars for you if you're into Toyota Corollas and Ford Focuses as well. There's a bit more stuff coming, so just keep subscribed and notified. Last but not least, I would like to thank our dear, generous friend, Mr. Alizadeh, for letting me review his cars. Thanks to generous people like him, I could make a lot better content, high-quality videos. So, keeping that in mind, make sure to stay notified for my upcoming videos. There will be really good stuff in there. I'm not going to spoil too much of it, but do stay subscribed for those. My name is Mohammed Javed. Performance is my passion. I will see you next time on The Young Driver.